Hi everyone, welcome back to What's on My Page. I know it's been a minute. This is like the final series of this 8 series What's on My Page that I was doing, and it's been about I want to say 3 to 4 weeks since I did the last one, but that's because I've been a little busy and honestly a little tired. But, anyways, welcome back to What's on My Page. I'm so happy that you're here, whether you're watching this here with me live or watching the replay. Welcome. And let's get settled in and jump into today's discussion. And just as a reminder, this series is a space for me and for us to come and share what we're working through creatively. That's why it's called What's on My Page, because we're looking at what do we have currently in front of us on our creative page, what we're grappling with, what we're actually working on, what we're thinking about and brainstorming. And as I said before, this is the final live of the series. And I started out initially making this series because I wanted to hold myself accountable to actually finish the things that I started. So I created this live series with the goal of finishing a short story every 2 weeks. And that didn't happen. Um, and the purpose of this series changed, and I'm so glad that it did. Things didn't go as planned, but it unfolded in the exact way that I think I need it for where I am right now in my creative practice and my creative journey. So yeah, um, it didn't end up being what I envisioned it to be at the beginning, but it turned into something so much more beautiful. It became a place where I could re-examine my creative journey and workshop new things, like my um, new patterns that I wanted to create, and then also old patterns and some outdated thinking that I had that was standing in the way of the depth that I'm seeking in my creative practice. So I wanted to share some things that I've learned since this is the final live session in the series. I wanted to just spend a little time sharing what I've learned, how this has, become a space of growth for me. So let's dive in to a few of my lessons learned. So, first, I realized I was setting goals for my creative practice from the lens of productivity and prioritizing output. I would set up my creative practice so that I could, for example, finish a short story every 2 weeks. And I was pushing towards that goal, but it just didn't feel like I was in the space right now to actually meet that goal. So it felt a little unnatural. But I got kind of stuck in a loop because once I set a goal, for me at least, it feels like, okay, this is it. I have to do this. I cannot back away from it. I don't like being a quote unquote quitter. Um, so I've also had to kind of reframe my thinking around that. It's not necessarily quitting, but it's me reconfiguring and finding out what is the best path forward and what's going to work for me and actually give me what I need in this time, instead of setting these goals and with my brain and them not connecting with my body and what actually feels right. So I've had to really wrestle with that, even with the cadence of coming down to doing this live series every Sunday. First, I started off doing it on a Friday. I figured, okay, people might be busy getting off of work. Then I said, okay, Sunday might be a good day. But these last few Sundays, I've just been tired and feeling a little burnt out from my professional life and then also my creative life and needing to slow down. So I didn't do a live. And the first time I didn't do it, it felt like I was letting myself down. And then the second time and the third time felt a little easier. And then today I was like, okay, I'm still tired, but I'm going to come down here because I need to continue to finish what I started and at least have some discipline. So I'm like, okay, I need to give myself some rest, but within reason. So that's why I'm here today. But this space has been a container for me to really work through what productivity looks like and what it should look like in a healthy way for my creative practice. And it also uncovered that I wasn't really making space for slowness and depth, like being able to really dive into my ideas and excavate them and explore them and really see the height of what they could be. So, moving away from prioritizing output and productivity is going to give me the space for that slowness and that deepness that I want to cultivate in my creative practice. Um, it also has shown me, this series has shown me that I need to take a step back and find a balance between learning and honing my craft and experimenting and trying new things. So, when I first decided, like about, I think not yet a year, maybe a full year ago, that okay, I've been thinking about writing for a while. I'm going to start actively pursuing it. When I first made that decision, I got stuck and bogged down in learning and taking creative writing classes and watching YouTube videos, and I wasn't writing. Then I said, okay, let me get out of this because I'm not doing the thing that I said I wanted to do. Let me write. And I started doing that. And I didn't finish the things that I started because I always felt like I needed to know more. I didn't have the confidence that I need in my creative practice, in my writing practice to finish. So now I'm in a space where I want to have that confidence. And in order to have that confidence, I think I need to continue learning. So where I'm at now is that I want to find a balance between learning and the doing. And the way that I'm going to do that is by creating a self-taught curriculum for myself where I learn different things and give myself assignments. So it's kind of going to be, no, basically it's going to be school. But, I'm going to homeschool myself on creative writing and storytelling and learn the things that I'm curious about learning and create this space for myself to experiment and have many writing prompts that I can finish and build that confidence and that trust in my writing practice. So if I hadn't had given myself this space and kind of tried to force myself to finish a short story every 2 weeks, I wouldn't have come to this revelation. So I'm very grateful for this space because now I feel like I have refined my direction and where I'm going in this creative journey. And another big thing is that it clarified what I want to do on this channel. I want to document my journey to making my creative dreams come true. First and foremost, that's a big part of what Creative Birthright is my journey to reclaiming my creative birthright. And I'm calling you all to join me along the way. And what I'm hoping is that by seeing my journey, you are inspired to create your own. Um, and my creative dreams are not just becoming a published author, but I really want to understand how I can transform my life to make creativity the center of it. Um, yeah, and I want to document that journey and bringing you all along with me. So, as I mentioned a few lives back, I am not done. Even though this is the end of this live series, I'm not done with going live. So, I'm going to continue but with a focus on what I'm learning each week in my self-taught curriculum. And it will be sort of like a study session, if you will. And I'll be sharing my curriculum in advance so that you can follow along, and then we can come together and like nerd out together and talk about what we found interesting in that week's lessons. Um, it will be probably a similar format, but I'll be focusing on what I'm learning. Um, and I might not be able to make it down here every week. I'm going to start with a weekly cadence and get more disciplined about scheduling my lives, advertising my lives, um, and coming down here. But the reality of life is that I probably won't be able to make it every Sunday, especially with the holiday season right around the corner. Um, I think I'm going to have it be like a 3-month curriculum. So I'll share the lessons maybe for every 2 weeks or every month in advance, because I'm still going to be refining it as I go. And I'll probably take about a week or two off, and then I'll share the curriculum. I'll share the name of the new series, and we will be down here nerding out on creativity. So that's what I've learned. That's like the transformation my creative practice has had over the past, it's been longer than 8 weeks, maybe closer to 12 weeks, but over the past 8 live sessions, including this one, I have accomplished something that I didn't set out to accomplish, but it was exactly what I needed. So, um, what's on my page this week is that I have been dreaming and brainstorming what is next for Creative Birthright. Um, I feel like I'm at a place where I need to reconfigure some things. And I've just been spending a lot of time getting lost in all my blue sky ideas. You know, I'm a Pisces, so it's very easy for me to daydream and to dream big. My dreams are not small. But I put some practicality in there, and I'm really realistic. So I also focus in on the details of how to make it happen. I don't have any Virgo placements that I am remembering, but yeah. This is actually something that I might want to do professionally for others, is like coach people on making their dreams come true, because it's very fun activity for me to just ideate and brainstorm and put all the pieces together and all the steps and say, okay, if I start here and I do this, this, and that, I'm going to end up here. So that's what I've been doing for Creative Birthright, and just really thinking through the shift that I want to make. And that shift is coming. Sorry, I don't like the song that is playing right now. I don't know what that was. I have like some lo-fi that's no copyright, and the song that was playing was not the right frequency for me. So I needed to change that because it was really like distracting me. But yeah, back to what's on my page. I've been daydreaming and brainstorming what's next, and I guess a part of dreaming about what's next is eventually um, helping other people plot their plans for achieving their dreams. And I think I would be really good at it, because I will push you to dream bigger and better, and then I'll insist that you follow through. And that is like a doable and realistic plan of action. Um, so back to Creative Birthright. It's time to recalibrate. And that is what I've been focused on and thinking through. And I want to be able to go deeper into what I discuss here and really sit with each of my ideas in a way that I haven't been giving myself the opportunity to do so, because I set a pace to put out new videos, that doesn't really allow me to really sit with ideas because I have a lot of other things I have to do in my day-to-day life. So I wasn't being realistic with that. And that kind of caused me to feel a little burnt out from making videos and lose a little bit of the joy in it because I need more time to sit with my ideas. So, part of me has been feeling like I need to rush the process and put out a video each week to, feed the YouTube algorithm, blah, blah, blah. But that part is like incongruent with the rest of me and the rest of what my creative practice is calling for. So I think I need to change my pace up in order to have the experience I want in this creative journey. So I have been brainstorming how to have the slowness and depth of study and exploration of my ideas that I'm craving. So I think I'm going to focus my videos on what I'm learning in my self-taught curriculum so that I'm not stretching myself in too many different directions. So whatever it is I'm learning in this next 3 months is going to be reflected in the long form videos I'm putting out. And that's going to really allow me to go deep and go down rabbit holes. And I'm really looking forward to it. But I still want to feed the YouTube algorithm something. So I think I'll be doing more short videos, like YouTube shorts, and maybe just doing one long form video a month, but maybe doing some shorter long form videos. So maybe like 10 minutes about something that I want to go into extreme depth about. So I will narrow my focus, but go deeper. Because I just need to, I feel like this is going to work better for where I'm at right now in my creative practice and what other things I have going on in my life. Like, I need to do something that is going to work with what I have going on and what I'm craving and what I'm hoping for with my creative practice and not against it. So, more of my journey right now in the next months, maybe even the next year, is just going to be focused on learning and honing my craft and really exploring what creative birthright can become and what it is becoming. And I'm still thinking through this, still brainstorming, but like I mentioned earlier, creative birthright is going to just become a place that reflects my journey to coming back to my creative birthright, my journey of making my creative dreams come true and really living a life that is centered and focused around creativity. And one thing that I'm realizing that my journey is always going to call for is a season of rest. Like, I've seen so many people talk about in these last few months of the year, we have to, really lean in and lock in and do more and hit all of our goals and finish the year strong. And that just feels like so much to me. And it's made me realize that in my creative practice, I need to have this season of rest. Should probably be at the end of the year, the time when we're all being affected by seasonal affective disorder and the sun's going down earlier. So, I mean, for me, if there's no sun out, it's really hard for me to get energy. Maybe I need to take more vitamin D, but I'm just going to be going with the flow of nature. So, if nature is slowing down and winding down, I think my creative practice is going to be doing that as well. So, I'm saying all of this because this is the creative inspiration or creative homework I want to leave you all with, is to really connect with what your creative practice is telling you to lean into now. Like, listen to your body, listen to yourself. Don't listen to outside noise and lean into the rest. Don't get wrapped up into like the end of the year push to do more, but take some time to reflect and to really pour back into yourself, to go out and gather more inspiration. So, one thing that I want to do for the rest of this year is enjoy art. Like, take an art that I really find interesting. One thing that I really find interesting, especially during this time of the year, is horror films. So at least once a week, maybe even twice a week, I've been watching horror films because it's just something, a piece of art that I enjoy. I want to start going to more art galleries during this time of the year, more exhibits, listening to live music, but just taking the time to pour back into my creative practice and actively seek out inspiration so that I can let it, incubate, and when I'm ready to be more active in my creative practice and be more output focused, I will have all of these things inspiring me. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I inspire you all to do the same. So, yeah, that is really everything that I have for you today. It's the end of the What's on My Page series. It's been a great period of time for me to like really reflect and recalibrate and figure out what's working in my creative practice and what's not, and work towards creating something that is the most natural for me. So, thank you to everyone that's been, you know, popping into the lives. And I will see you in the next series. I'm not sure what it's going to be called yet, but I'll be letting you know. And I hope to see you there so that we can learn and grow together. But all right, that's all I have for you today. And